Also an OBGYN. Senator, welcome back to National Report. Again, the discussion of IVF, we know its intentions are to bring life into this world, perhaps for couples struggling to conceive naturally. We'll just start off with your opinion on that state Supreme Court ruling in Alabama. Do you agree with that?
Well, I don't. And this would be my point, is that, look, today in America, 200 beautiful babies are going to be born because of in vitro fertilization. As an obstetrician, I took care of hundreds of patients with infertility issues. I participated in these ovulation cycles for in vitro fertilization. Look, the Republican Party is the pro-family party. We're fighting for families. Republicans should embrace in vitro fertilization. Thank God for the technology that he's given us to be able to help these infertile couples. So at the end of the day, the state legislatures will figure this out. This will be a short chapter. They're going to fix this problem in Alabama, and I don't think it'll have much impact across the rest of the country.
There are some that want this topic matter to be pushed to the federal level versus state level in terms of how it should be handled. What are your thoughts there? Where do you lie?
Well, that's not going to happen. I think the Dobbs decision clearly places this issue at the state level. And I really think for most states, this is not going to impact anything. Again, at the end of the day, Republicans embrace in vitro fertilization. We embrace the sanctity of life. We embrace the birth of all children.
Do you think, sir, when it comes to collecting the number of viable embryos, that might change based on this ruling? Because, again, there might be some concern about once you've reached maybe your ideal family scenario and makeup, you might have some additional embryos and unsure of what to do with those.
Yeah, you know, this is a very complicated ethical issue, something that I've wrestled with for 20 years. And I still don't have the answer for you. As a Christian, a born-again Christian, I still don't have the right answer to tell every couple. All I know is that I celebrate the sanctity of life. I believe that God gave us this technology of in vitro fertilization for a reason. 10% of American couples have problems having children. About a third of them turn to in vitro fertilization. I think the courts probably overstepped their bounds a little bit here. Conflicting laws, state legislatures can fix this, but Republicans stand for in vitro fertilization. We stand for families. We're fighting for families. We're fighting for those newborn babies out there.
I want to move topics, if we can, with you again to that tragic death of a former UGA student or a UGA alum nursing student down in Georgia. Augusta, that community there, mourning the loss of that nursing student. Her name's Laken Riley, who police say was killed by an illegal immigrant while out on a morning jog on UGA's campus. The governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, he's pinning the blame on this, on the Biden administration's the failed border policies. Let us play this for the viewers, and then we'll get your response to that.
Laken's death is a direct result of failed policies on the federal level and an unwillingness by this White House to secure the southern border. We need to demand better from this administration, and that's something that I've been doing since I've taken office, along with other governors across the country.
So the suspect has been charged behind bars, awaiting trial. He came across the country illegally through El Paso. We know this again from court documents. This is him here as released from the Clark County Sheriff's Office. He's committed numerous crimes, continued not only to be let out back into the community, but again, not deported. Many point to Venezuela, which is where he's originally from, and the deportation rules there. But either way, here we are today with the death of a young college student, a grad student here. A campus is mourning, friends, family mourning this. And again, many are pointing that border policies, if they were enforced, this would never have happened. Your thoughts on Laken Riley's death, sir?
Yeah. Well, I think we should all pause and mourn with this family and grieve with them as well. A beautiful nursing student, something near and dear to my heart as a physician. My wife's a nurse. Just a tragic loss, and this didn't have to happen. Laken is going to join 300 Americans that will die today from fentanyl poisoning. These deaths, the blood of Laken Riley, the blood of the 300 fentanyl victims today, are on the hands of Joe Biden. And this is going to be a recurrent theme. This assailant is one of 200,000 Venezuelans that Joe Biden has paroled illegally paroled them across our border. A very violent group of folks. They're not sending us their best. They're sending us their violent criminals. Again, this is 1 out of 200,000 Venezuelans that Joe Biden has illegally paroled. And this is why I just caution everybody. This is why the safety and security of families is the #1 issue across America, even in a state like Georgia, a state like Kansas, in the heart of the Midwest, that we are fearful for our lives. We live in a lawless country now, thanks to Joe Biden. We have open borders. We have defund and disrespect the police. There's cashless bail. There's smash and grab. All these things are part of this lawless society that Joe Biden has perpetuated.
Isn't this just another example, sir, of what could encourage members of Congress and the Senate to take action to address this crisis in our own country right now? Is there an executive action you would recommend the president look into even before Congress takes action?
Yeah, this is very easy to fix. That the president could have fixed this yesterday. He just needs to undo what he's done. He did 90 executive orders to reverse President Trump's policy. Something as simple as changing the asylum rules, changing these parole rules would have a huge impact. And regardless of that, I want to compliment Speaker Mike Johnson going there in the White House to talk about keeping the government open, and he turned that into a conversation about secure borders. The leverage we have right now against Joe Biden and Chuck Schumer on this government shutdown is we want to secure the border. But Joe Biden's going to have an admission of guilt when he's down on the border this week, or else at a State of the Union message, he'll have an admission of guilt that he's going to implement policies to secure the border that he could have done all along.
All right. Again, that is Senator Roger Marshall joining us today. Senator, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Stanley.